Yeah, don't forget to stay hydrated, you fuck.
Gang.
What is it?
Gang.
Damn it.
Gang.
I was gonna say something.
Anyone else drinking tonight?
Good.
No?
I've just bought the Rocks tequila.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Get Dan Aykroyd.
this is the best shit ever right here.
What is it?
Blue Moon Light Sky. So it's their light
Okay.
beer, but I would argue that the flavor profile is better than normal Blue Moon. It's got the
See, I
higher,
I
like,
Blue Moon.
I'm a big Blue Moon fan. Like, that was what I was drinking last time I was on podcast. I had a pounder of that. But, like, this shit, it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact it's not quite as, like, hoppy. No, I wouldn't even say hoppy. What's the other one that's usually prominent? This one allows the citrus to come through a bit more.
So it's like having a Blue Moon with an actual
With an orange.
an orange in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But this one uses like tangerine and shit too. So like it's just more citrus flavors. It's really good. The first time I had it, I was at gatherings. It was solid.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, I've never. The only tequila I've ever drank was Tequila Rose.
I don't fuck with tequila. Tequila is the only reason I've ever gotten hangovers.
Yeah, I've never drank tequila. Or, well, I guess I had Tequila Rose, but if you consider that, that's like your Bud Light of tequila.
Jose Cuervo can fuck a dick.
So I've never really had it, but I like the Rock, so I fanned out and bought his tequila. It's actually
Have you
pretty
gotten
decent.
I probably won't try it, to be 100% honest. I do want to try Aviation though. Ryan Reynolds gin.
Yeah.
That looks like it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, I seen that there, and then it was funny. They must have had like all the celebrities in one area, because they had it was Aviation Gin, it was Conor McGregor's
His whiskey.
His whiskey. Fuck, what the hell was it? I can't think of it off the top of my head. The Rocks. Then they had P Diddy's, which is that Ciroc.
Okay.
And then there was another one. I can't remember.
So that was
But
yours.
it was all they were all
That's
like in
your
an area
Discord?
together. I'm like, like doing a collab section of celebrity alcohol.
I also really want to try. I think it's Smiling Jack. It's not an alcohol, but it's Hugh Jackman's coffee.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Jackman.
Dude, I love Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's a god amongst men, and he's too good for this place.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
So is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is pretty great.
You're pretty great.
Oh, stop it.
Shucks.
Episode
you know what-
65, boyos.
You know what else is pretty great? This T-shirt of Isabel dressed as a Doom guy.
Nice.
I fucking love it.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm almost. How many? Do you happen to remember how many episodes are in Diamond? Because I'm on like 27, I think. I don't know
think
if I'm close to the end.
I think what just happened.
So they are currently dealing with the cat that he had to kill that turned into the plant.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, you probably have. Okay. So Yoshikage Kira stole what's his face's face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And he's really getting the mom's panties wet.
And he's like he was just having like a existential crisis for like caring for another human being.
Yeah. You're like, I would say probably maybe another 8 episodes. Somewhere between like 8 and 10, I do believe. I could be completely wrong, but you're near the final chapter. What's the opening? Is it breakdown?
Fucking the third one that I
Yeah.
It's this one. Yeah, it's breakdown. I don't know if I
breakdown.
So were there 3 or 4 OPs for this one fucking season? I think there were 4 because there was one that for like an episode and a half that I didn't like at all. It was super
crazy.
upbeat.
There's the crazy noisy disco version.
Okay.
So if we
because
count that,
I love the second.
If we count that, there's technically there's crazy noisy. There's crazy noisy disco. Chase is the best one. Dude, you need to listen to Bada, the guy who made that song.
Okay.
All of his songs are fire.
Are they? Is Chase the second one that has it opens with like the skull lock?
Yeah.
I fuck with that one. That one's
one's
tight.
fantastic.
I like that, a lot.
Everyone
That one feels like a JoJo OP.
A lot of JoJo fans hate that song with a burning passion. They say it's the
What?
worst because
The
it's not a
first one's
JoJo
terrible.
song. It's not a JoJo song. That's what they say, and I'm like,
I'd argue it's the most JoJo out of these options.
It follows like what exactly is going on with the story.
Yeah. I hated the first one. I was not a fan.
Oh, I love
I
Crazy
didn't
Noisy.
hate it. I just didn't like it because I guess I could forgive that if the actual animation and everything of the OP still felt like a JoJo's episode.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a typical shonen anime now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved the David Productions like heavy animation and everything they did in the past 3 seasons. It was so unique, which is why I think I liked it so much.
I really like it because of how beautiful and colorful it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything pops.
And they don't do that whole foreshadowing thing anymore.
Yeah, oh, they do. They really
do. They?
You have, yeah, they do. Especially,
maybe it's
like,
not as prominent.
especially in Chase, there's a lot of things in it. Like once you finish Diamond is Unbreakable, go back and watch Chase, especially the Chase OP, because there's a lot of stuff that they go towards in that.
Okay.
Fuck. It's not nowhere near as big as like some of the other ones, but like part 1 has a foreshadow to something in part 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
But there's for the OPs for part 4, there's Crazy Noisy Disco version, which it's okay.
I think that's the only one I actually truly dislike.
There's Chase. There's Great Days, which is the breakdown one. There's Great Days Reverse, and then there's Great Days Units version.
Okay. And what's up with them still putting Shigechi into the OP when he just got yeeted like 8 to 10 episodes ago?
Shigechi, why? Poor Shigechi. That hurt a lot.
Do you have a Shigechi thing?
Yeah, it's right here. My buddy got it for me for Christmas 2 years back. Yeah,
nice.
Little Shigechi.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I I have this. I think I have the same reaction Okyasu did. Like, I hated him, but I still am kind of sad and like I don't know how to feel. Huh?
Oh, I was talking to someone in my chat.
But yeah, like I didn't like him, but I felt really bad that he died. I think the thing that made me feel really bad is the fact of how like really realistically he was a greedy little fuck, but he was like super honorable under the point of like I can't let Mama and Papa live in a town with this kind of person. And I was like, and
just seeing him just stumble through the halls in the high school, and everyone's like, "Let's get the fuck away from this kid."
He's obviously in serious like trouble.
And
like, why is no one helping?
The worst
this kid?
thing, he's like, Josuke's right there. He can heal me. He can use. Shining Diamond to heal me. I gotta save Mama and Papa, and then he touches it, and then you just see Oshikage Kira and Killer Queen. Killer Queen already touched the doorknob. Click. And then just nothing. He disappears.
Yeah, he's just like. So the thing that doesn't make sense is, how was Harvest able to still go? Or like that was that how strong his mind was at the end that he was able to push one final go. Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, wait, he just got evaporated.
His willpower was so strong.
I do kind of feel bad. The only thing I didn't like is why do they make his head pointy? Why do they make a bunch of little points? It was so weird.
You know.
I really like he's probably not important again, but the alien. I can't remember exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's like, is he not important anymore? Was he only like a filler episode?
He shows up like another time, I do believe, but like he's not important at all.
So they confused me. I'm not sure if he was actually a stand user that's just really like fucking with someone, or he's actually an alien and actually brainwashed his quote unquote mother.
I think he's actually a stand user.
Okay. The fact that he can just transform into shit's kind of dope. He got really... Well, I don't understand the sirens thing. So is he a stand user and an alien? Or did that like small nick that the photo dude cause a stand to get with him? because it said his stand is technically, it's like, I'm gonna say Terra Venus.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what's up with this fucking? Why do they introduce ghosts and shit?
What?
Like the fact that this dude can like control shit. Like he's a ghost, but he's like full blown tangible, floating around on a raven inside a crow inside of a photo, just yeeting arrows at people.
Yeah.
Fucking Kira's dad's whack.
You know. Yeah, you know.
Rocky. That's the only answer.
It's just a Rocky.
Oh, I got into an argument today on a JoJo's page on Facebook, and like a bunch of people were legitimately coming after like people who stand like Speedwagon, and they're all like, Speedwagon's a trash character. He was never anything good. Like he was just plot context and all this shit. They needed a rich person. They could have just swapped it out with like the Joestars and their money, and then put some organization on there. I'm like, did y'all forget the huge character development that this man's had? Like from being someone who's going to try to kill people and rob them in an alleyway in Ogre Street, and then the main writer for 50 years for the Joestars. Like, did we miss that part?
I stan Speedwagon.
I do stan Speedwagon.
Speedwagon.
I love Speedwagon.
Speedwagon stan.
Oh, that show is...
Even Speedwagon was afraid.
What?
From part 2. About when the Pillarmen come out.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Speedwagon's
okay.
there. Even Speedwagon was afraid.
That show is so good, so good.
It's fantastic.
Even people who
now
don't like anime, I think they need to watch that.
Now you know why I don't shut up about it.
Yeah.
I'm a typical JoJo fan. I don't fucking shut up about JoJo.
Are they? Is it just Gold? Not Gold Experience, but Vento Oreo that's done, or is the next one done as well?
Ventorio, that's it.
Okay, so that's the next one, right? That's 5.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I thought they were doing some. Is Steel Ball Run next, or no? Stone Ocean's next.
Stone
right?
Ocean's next. Yeah. Then it goes Steel
Okay.
Ball Run.
I'm gonna start having to pick up the fucking mangas.
Mm-hmm. They're
Because
really.
like I want to know what happens.
I don't think we have. I don't know if Part 4's done in English in the official mangas.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
You might have to go like onto a website and
Okay.
get the fan translations.
I have I got Crunch. I ended up getting Crunchyroll Premium, so like I'm sure I can find something in there. No,
No.
they don't have. Well, if I pull up on a computer, I could probably just do auto translate. Unless no, it's not in text. It's in fucking yeah. Damn, it's in panels. I can't do that because it's not text.
Yeah, you probably just have to go to like I think
Yeah.
it's called like
I'll probably
Manga
just-
Panda or something has it.
Okay.
I'll have to take a look to see what's available.
And then so I looked into some stuff for Steel Ball Run. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like,
Jesus told me I have to
What?
kill the president of the United States.
see, I haven't even looked fully into that part. It's just I'm trying to
That's Secret
comprehend
Service.
Johnny and Diego right now.
Yep.
Because Johnny is like fucking paralyzed, and then he's not.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. Stone Ocean looks interesting though.
Yeah, it's
I-
Jolene. Jolene
Yeah, and then,
Kojo.
That's Jotaro's daughter, I imagine, right?
Jotaro becomes a marine biologist.
Isn't he? He's already like a leading in science or some shit, isn't he?
Yeah. But well, he's at the end of the beginning of part 5. He's the head of the Speedwagon Foundation,
Okay.
and then he gets bored of that, so he becomes a marine biologist.
Fucking is that why everything's like marine based now? Like everything has like an anchor or some shit on it. They got rid of the hard idea and now it's all anchors and little sailor caps.
No. Well, because that's
In Stone Ocean.
well, Stone Ocean, because Jolene's basically prison on Alcatraz.
Oh.
She's a prisoner.
Oh. Okay.
And
That's
then
not great.
when we get further ahead after Steel Ball Run into, I forget what part 8 is called.
So something I kind of just noticed is we kind of hijacked this into Anime Corner.
Yeah.
It's all good.
JoJo
A
part
good
8.
preamble.
Yeah.
JoJolion. Yeah. JoJolion, it's basically they're on like it's ships. It's very ship
So
oriented.
okay.
And that stars
I've
Joseph.
seen a lot. Okay.
That stars
I've seen a lot
Joseph
of stuff.
Joestar.
With like the whole JoJolion, is that like another season or is that something else?
JoJolion is part 8 of JoJo, but it's alternate timeline. That's when
Okay,
shit gets
so it is-
alternate timelines. Because Joseph Joestar and Dio Brando are in it.
Are Joseph's in it?
Yeah.
Joseph. There's another Joseph?
This is alternate timeline.
Right, I know there's Johnny.
Johnny Joestar is Steel Ball Run.
Oh, okay. So JoJolion is that's where that's the alternate version of Josuke, right? That's where he's wearing like the super tiny sailor hat.
Yeah,
Not super tiny.
Oh yeah,
it's
no,
like a
that's
normal size one.
Josuke. Sorry, yeah, that's Josuke. Yeah. Yeah, it's Josuke and I think it's Yoshikage Kira. Also, I could be wrong though.
Because I know Steel Ball Run brings back Johnny, which is Jonathan, then Diego, which is Dio.
Yeah, but yeah, it's once Steel Ball Run hits, that's when it gets
So
everything Briar gets thrown out the fucking window.
okay, so they're kind of like doing like a whole retcon and resetting JoJo at that point.
Yeah, that's the reset
Okay.
essentially.
Okay,
That takes
that's
place.
the new 52. Got it.
That takes place in the U.S. during the westward expansion in the 1800s.
It was like 1816, right?
Yeah,
because that's what I
somewhere
heard something
around
about that when they were doing the horse races.
Yeah, and it's just a big chariot race across the U.S. And along the way, Johnny has to pick up pieces of Jesus.
Okay, pieces of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. He has to find the bones of Jesus Christ.
I feel like someone didn't supervise Araki, and Araki just went wild.
Nobody supervises Rock. He's a fucking madman. He's like Hideo Kojima.
I was gonna say, what do you think would happen if you put Kojima and Araki in the same room and said work together?
It would be the weirdest trip ever, but it'd be great.
Oh yeah, beautiful 22-hour movie or anime TV show, one of the two.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, that would be great. Well, we can talk about more of this on Anime Corner.
Some other day.
Yeah, because I could keep going. I got so much shit to talk about that show. It's become unhealthy, which how much I like look into and pay attention. And last night before I went to bed, I just sat on my phone looking through different JoJo stuff. And then on this,
the JoJo wiki is a dangerous place to be when it's like 2 in the morning. Next time you look up from your phone, it's like the sun's coming up.
Yep, it's wild. Oh, I love that show. It's definitely up there in the top 3 favorite animes of all time. It's got such a... It's hard to say, like, the whole anime has got a good plot point, but each season has an extremely good plot point that all tie into each other somehow.
There isn't a bad thing in
So
that
good.
show. There isn't a bad, like, season.
Mm-mm. And, like, a lot of people were actually talking about how they didn't like Phantom Blood at all, but, like, I thought it was really good. It was well done.
It was a good point.
It's arguable that it's obviously not the best season, but it's a really good fucking season. And I personally love Jonathan. I'm a big fan of Jonathan. Apparently, they changed his hair color from the manga, though. It wasn't actually supposed to be blue.
No,
I didn't know that.
It was blonde, I think, or brown.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Caleb IA and Forts X Forts videos that just talk a shit ton about JoJo's.
Once you get done with part 4, watch Super Eye Patch Wolf's 2-part episode on what's in the OP on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because he breaks apart the openings for every season, and it's fantastic.
And the thing that was really interesting that I couldn't tell in the 3rd season is that none of Jotaro's hats fully have a back.
No, they don't. This is part of
They're
his hair.
just like blown out. It's so weird. But we'll get off of this because everyone seems like they're kind of bored.
Their 20-minute preamble
Yeah.
on
Hey,
JoJo.
man, that's what the preamble's there for. Just get
We
it.
got a little bit of anime corner. You should go check that out too.
For anyone who's listening, when we start the actual thing too, I'll make sure I mention that as well. So let me know when you guys are ready. We'll get going. We'll do the countdown.
Fuck, we might need to redo part 1. The part 1 anime corner, by the way. I think I accidentally deleted it.
That's fine.
We can talk about it again.
We could just do a
Just
like a full talk from 1 to the end and then chop it up so we have shit to do for like backlog.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could go on about each season for probably at least half an hour, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, everyone good? Count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to another week of the Level Unlock podcast, episode 65. Level 65, floor 65. We are here. It is the drive to 69. We are 4 away, boys.
The
and then we are
drive to
restarting.
69.
Welcome.
Just do like Level Unlocked podcast episode 1 part 2 or part
There
2
you go.
episode 1.
Yeah.
Just continue. to 9.
Just continue it over each time. Part 3, episode 1.
Just
Until we get
retcon
to
it.
69, just every single time. Make it a thing. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to all the new viewers, all current 4,250 followers on Podbean. Thank you very much for that. And also thank you guys for making the last 2 weeks the most downloaded podcasts out of any episode that we ever had. 250 downloads between the last 2 weeks, making those specifically the most 2 downloaded podcasts we've ever had, which is absolutely phenomenal. Cannot thank you guys enough for that. And we much appreciate you. Also, thank you to our 3 Patreons. We love you. We appreciate you. Please check out the Patreon. We've got a bunch of content that just got uploaded. If you would like to be a part of that, as well as prior to this, we did a preamble, a good 25-minute preamble about some anime. So if you want to listen to that, you want to join.
We as in me and Nate.
Yes. If you do want to listen to that, hear what happens, you can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/levelunlockpodcasts, where there is different tiers to unlock different items. And make sure you follow us on all the different socials. And let's get right into it. Let's dive in. Got some decent news. We got some concerts that happened over the weekend. Some gaming concerts. We had some rock, paper, scissors. We have a couple different thingamabobs that kind of went down. So make sure you stick around for the news because it's going to be a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
But first, let's go around the horn. Let's go around the barrel. And how's everyone doing? What's everyone been up to? And how's your weeks? Start with Schroeder. What's going on, man? How you been?
Pretty good, man. Staying busy. Staying super ultra busy. Lots of buttons to push. I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous this week, actually. And just kind of still settling in, I suppose. Shout out to my whole boy Major. He actually, I just had to pay for shipping, but he sent me a sweet-ass keyboard and mouse.
Nice.
He got tired of hearing my space bar. We were gaming together.
That's funny. Aren't you
Yeah,
using like a 15-year-old keyboard or something? That's what I thought.
I'm gonna frame it. It is it's actually the first keyboard I ever actually got. It's an old Dell, like military grade keyboard. It's got a cat card reader in it and everything.
Nice.
Jesus.
Fucking rad.
Yeah. I beat the shit out of it. But it's held strong for this entire time. Honestly, the only reason the space bar is kind of broken is because I went to clean.
Yeah, weren't you messing with it?
Yeah, I went to clean it, and apparently space bars have this little bar that runs along the back that has to be clipped in as well. It's really hard to get that clip on there, enough to make you give up after not too long. Still works, but now it goes clink, like it's really loud. It's annoying, so that's pretty cool. So that happened.
That's awesome. Shout out to Major. What's up, man?
Yeah, awesome dude. But other than that, I'm slowly building an armada. one at a time. Seriously, in the last like week, like started out with I actually was just gonna jump into it, and then I'm like, oh, my buddy Steve's on. So actually, I don't know if I don't think he did have it yet. I don't know when he got the Elite Dangerous, but he started playing it, and it's like his main shit. He's got a VR now, and like the whole setup, and he plays on a 50-inch TV, and he's just I can't even imagine. Well, I guess since he's gotten the VR, he doesn't need the 50-inch TV anymore. But God, that's so dope. Could you imagine?
Awesome.
So, for those that don't know, Elite Dangerous is a hyper-real spaceflight simulator, and it takes place in like the year 3600s, and
the future, the year
the
3000.
distant future. And when I say hyper-real, I mean it's hyper-real. There's so many buttons in that game. If you really want to see a funny video that kind of talks about it, it's why Elite Dangerous VR is a nightmare. It's a video that talks about the game from the standpoint of VR, but you don't need VR to play it. I don't play with VR. Most people don't play with VR. So you can take everything that dude says and just apply it to the regular game as well. But this shit is crazy. Like I seriously feel like I can go down to the airport, hop in a spaceship, and fly away. Like it's no big deal. There are
Do it, pussy.
there's well over there's probably realistically there really is probably over 100 buttons to the whole process, to everything. There's probably 100 buttons.
Damn.
That's awesome. They did that to make it more realistic. I mean, pain in the fucking dick though.
It is. A lot of people. Like, I'll be honest, if I came and sat down and went to play one day and all my macros are messed up,
Might give up.
You'd just
I'd
be like,
real
I'm
mad.
done.
I'd have another broken keyboard probably. But to give you a little idea, I play with my joystick. This is what it requires me to play. This super fancy mouse.
Ooh.
Yep. That's what my buddy sent me. It's gangsta keyboard that has a bunch of macros on the side of it, wherever
Nice.
those are up
That's
here.
tight.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
is that the one that has like the quick bars for the games you want to play?
Yeah, it's
Like
the
a
G19.
G502.
This is the G19. It's a couple years old. That's the other reason he gave it to me, because he got a new one. So he's like, I don't even need this fucking thing. I also use a numerical keypad.
Holy
Is there
shit.
not a keypad on the keyboard?
No,
No,
needs
I
another
had
one.
two.
Oh god.
And an Xbox controller.
So,
That is
Why?
no joke. What I use to play Elite Dangerous.
how
That
do you like program the extra numerical keyboard?
Yeah.
Like, does it recognize it as an external thing, or is it like the same input? Do you,
Was it
have
hard?
to, do you have to set it up a certain way? Like, how do you do that? I'm curious.
What the fuck is the name of that program?
Like auto hotkeys? Or...
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's a bitch to set up, but when you're sitting there and you're about to do some shit and you're like bloop 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 bloop,
It does it all for you.
You got a fucking command center.
like you're like, I'm gonna fucking take on the world. The universe is
Jesus.
mine. So
So-
here's another fascinating. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, is it so realistically, is it possible to play it with just one keyboard and a mouse? Or do you imagine it's probably insanely difficult?
You probably have to, like, the reason I have so many buttons is so I don't have to go to 100 menus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, in order to get to the Galaxy menu, which one of the neat things about this game is, they actually it's procedurally generated, but it pulls from the NASA star maps.
Okay.
So if you were to open up the Galaxy map so you could see your location, you're at a star. And as you scroll out, you can see all of the other stars, all the way out until you're in the entire Milky Way system. And every single star has a corresponding NASA thing on it, and as much information as they can actually have gathered on it. And you can literally visit every single body. You can visit black holes, you can visit various nebulae, you can visit freaking one of my favorite things, which is quasars and white dwarf stars, and you see some of the most fascinating things because it's super realistic. So you can literally pull up to a planet that has a beautiful canyon system, and you actually have these SRVs. These are these little like go-kart thingies that can drive around on almost. You can't go on any of the planets that have an atmosphere yet. That's something they're talking about doing next. But any planet that does not, you can land on it and like drive around the planet essentially, and you can catch some of these photo moments that are just astounding. Like if you were to even Google or YouTube beautiful Elite Dangerous moments, you'll probably find an archive, like tons of stuff, because it is by far one of the prettiest games in that respect. And it's just so neat that you can visit anything out there that's really out there. I don't know. It's a super fascinating game, and it has so many different levels. All the way. I mean, you can fly around and be a space pirate or a bounty hunter, or
Can you
can
fly
go
into
on.
black holes?
You can fly into black holes. Yeah.
What happens when you do?
I'm pretty sure you eventually blow up. I don't
I
know.
was gonna say.
I feel like I watched a video where somebody did it and everything just turned inside out and something happened, but I don't remember, because that's another neat thing about this game is that it's one of those types of games that you can set down and not play for 7, 8, a year and a half, and pick it up and be very angry because your macros aren't working anymore. Or you don't remember them. You don't remember them. Honestly, there's so many fucking buttons. You just simply don't remember them all. So I don't know, man. I recommend it highly. I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, here's the thing about it. It is definitely 100% not the type of game. Not if you're the type of person that likes to just jump into the action right away. No. This is definitely not a game for you. You eventually can get to a point where you can hop into a ship and just go fly somewhere and do some dogfighting for a while if you want. But it's by far one of the steepest learning curves I've ever crossed paths with. And every other person that I have that has played it says the same exact thing. But every single person that has taken the time to learn how to do it, all of them say it's one of the best games, one of the most enjoyable experiences out of a game. When you talk about getting your money out of it, yeah. And for anybody who is interested in checking it out, by the time this releases, I don't know if it will still be on sale, but presently for the 2 pieces, which is typical, which is Elite Dangerous, and then the expansion, the Horizons, which is what allows you to land on planets. I do recommend it. It's usually $60 for those 2, and presently on Humble Bundle, each one of them is $9. So it's definitely a game I recommend. But that is what I've been doing with quite a bit of my time, and it is one of those things I've walked away from the keyboard for like a half hour at a time to just do things around the house. So the amount of time I have on it isn't. Yeah. There's a bit of that involved, like in it. It's a good game. I'd recommend at least watching videos on it. But other than that, I haven't been as productive as I'd like to have been. I'll be honest. That game has really been pulling my attention. Yeah, but still, at the same time, like I was thinking about this the other day. You have all these, what about that book you said you'd work on? You know what I mean? Like that book you've always said you're going to write, that script you've always wanted to do, that those paintings you've wanted to make. Everybody has all this time to do stuff. I wonder how many people are actually doing the things that they said they would do if they had the time to do it. Like actually, one of the things I want to do is I want to get my situation sorted out so I can start making those high quality YouTube videos like I used to do, the ones that take like 40 hours for a half-hour episode, because those were fun to make, but god damn, they took too long. Jesus Christ, I'd spend like 4 hours just trying to find a good soundtrack for the whole video.
But that's production. Like if you want to create something really good that you care about, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a full-time job,
It was a full-time job, dude. I got burnt out. I was working the 8 hours a day and then coming home and doing that from the time I got home to the time I went to bed. I got burnt out pretty hard. Time management's like.
Well, you guys remember when I did that Katamari review? That took me fucking forever between playing the game, capturing the footage, writing the script, rewriting the script, having people look at the script, me not feeling confident in the script, so rewriting the script again, and then doing the voiceovers, editing everything. That took fucking forever for a 10-minute video that got like 3 views.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah, a lot of my videos don't have it does make you feel. Yeah, but at the same time, there's a level of that. There's a part of you. I don't know about you, but there's part of me that just you put that much time into it, and you want
Yeah, oh,
to.
yeah.
It'd be nice to see that more people are seeing it. Like you know.
You get discouraged.
I mean,
almost like
realistically, even Markiplier's first games probably only had like 2 or 3 views. Like,
Oh,
you,
everybody.
you
Yeah,
start somewhere.
everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah. It's a long process.
It just popped up. Aim Raid is playing Elite Dangerous, so he must have heard it. And he was like, I got the itch.
Yeah.
Everyone's starting to talk about that game. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the game I'd get into.
I got too much on my
I like to
palate,
do
my
things.
plate.
There's plenty to do, and it isn't for everybody. It really isn't. Just I don't know. I would watch a few more YouTube videos if you were even thinking about scooping it, and just to see if it is, because it isn't for everybody. It's a slow, like one of the like the other day I was just mining, so I'm flying around. So I try to I open up the galaxy map and I click on a couple of the solar systems around me, and I find one that has a planet that has rings around it. So I fly over to that celestial body and pull out my scanner, and I shoot a probe at the rings, and the probes identify a few hot spots that have high value resources. So you fly into that. Then you're flying around, through the asteroids for as long as you want. In my case, I was doing it for probably about 3 hours. Slowly, and you pull the trigger, and it does this pulse wave through the rocks, identifying rocks that actually have some value to them. So you find the rock finally because they're rare, every 10, 15 minutes is when you'll spot a mother lode is what they call them. So you fly over to the rock and you launch a little robot that attaches itself to the rock, and you scan it. The probe identifies to you what's in it. From there, it will then identify fissures in the rock. So you slowly fly around the rock. Meanwhile, I'm doing this in an 18-wheeler. in respects to the various sizes of ships. I'm doing it in the largest one there is. And I'm slowly balleting around this asteroid, launching like explosives into these fissures. And as soon as you fire one, a countdown starts. And there's a balancing act with how long you hold the trigger to how powerful the explosion will be. And on the side is a gauge that identifies to you how powerful the explosion will be when the timer goes off. Because if it's too powerful, you'll destroy your booty, which you're going after. But if it's not strong enough, you won't crack the rock. So you have to slowly, float around this thing with a 2-minute tension timer, launching these little projectiles into this stone, and then after the timer goes off, it does create one of the most satisfying explosions in a game. From there, the thing erupts, and little bits of resources pop out and float through space, and some are still attached to the rocks. So I send out my little robots to go scoop them up and put them in my cargo hold, and I fly around shooting the extra stuff off, which is falling off as well, and the robots are gathering that, and then you move on to the next ones. And it's a very slow, methodic, like, I don't know, what is the word? Is methodic the right word for it? What is it when you're like...
Yeah, no, I guess it would be methodic.
Meticulous?
Cathartic? Whatever it means to just be like chill and very relaxed.
Cathartic, probably.
Yeah. And then you get scanned by somebody and it breaks off everything, and you're like, oh my god! Because you have like $1 million worth of stuff on your cargo. That does happen, but that didn't happen to me. So that's what I mean. But so it isn't for everybody. If you're somebody that likes to jump into a game real fast and immediately start shooting things and killing things, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not that type of game.
Would you say it's like slower than the beginning of Ark? Much slower?
No, not really, because you can choose it to be. If you knew how to play, I could start a new character and immediately buy a ship that can do some dogfighting and go out and... Honestly, that is true. It's really how you take it, but for somebody who's never played for it, it takes a long time to learn how to play it, and it's a very slow process. And you kind of have some skin in the game, because if your ship blows up, there's an insurance to buy your ship back, And if, say, for instance, you buy a $10 million ship, which is actually an incredibly cheap ship, but if you buy a $10 million ship and the insurance on it is like, 50,000, if you don't have the 50,000, well, then your ship's gone. You have to start a new ship. So, I mean, it's fun. It's
Weren't you saying there's like Star Wars-esque battles that happen in that game too? Like they are just like battalions of people fighting each other?
Yeah. They have these things in it called high and low conflict zones. And when you roll up into a conflict zone, you're kind of like on the outside of the bubble of it, and there's a Star Wars battle happening right in front of you. Then you go into your contacts, section. If you have VR or you're using a mouse, I like to use the button, but you look over to this menu, and there's a contact section in that list, and you pick a side, and you pick the side you want, and then all those people show up as red, and then you just fucking go at it, and you actually get accommodations and rewards for fighting, and things like that. I mean, you make money that way. So if you did want to, yes, technically you could just jump right into battle. But if you've never played it, it's probably gonna, I don't know, it depends on your learning curve, but it will take a bit of time in just learning how to fucking pilot your plane. And then even to this day, I'm still adjusting my buttons and changing things as I figure new things out. So you can go as fast as you want if you know how. Otherwise, it's a slow process.
Good shit.
It does sound like it could definitely be interesting. It just sounds like it's a lot to start.
It is.
I don't know if I have the time for all that.
Yeah, I know, man. It'll take some of it. So. But other than that, buddies, I haven't been doing a whole too lot. The only other exciting thing that has happened in my world is my local corner store. I asked them to get a specific drink that I like a whole lot because I called like 13 different country fairs and every other damn store in the entire town to find these. I even called the Pepsi distributor. Asked if they could tell me where they were delivering them to. I said, is there any chance you can tell me what stores might carry the Rockstar Organics? Because they're my favorite ones. And the lady's like, oh, no, but they're out there. I'm like, well, I called like a ton of people, and no, they're out there. They must have got a new can. I was like,
oh, really?
Bitch, please.
That's wild.
Tell me more.
How are you going to tell me what the can of my favorite drink looks like? Like,
oh, no, they changed it, sweetie. Just look around. You'll find it.
Yeah.
You're not looking hard enough.
Yeah. You look back through the podcast and the various streams, 90% of the time I'm drinking these.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like,
You are.
yeah. So I went to the corner store, and it's a little Indonesian market, and they're very lovely people. They're very nice people. And I says to him, hey, is there any chance you guys can get those in? And the dude's like, yeah. We'll see what we can do. Check back on Thursday. Check back on Thursday. The whole bottom row, bro.
That's insane.
You're like, oh my God, I'm taking 4.
I bought like 12 of them. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the cool thing about those places is like they're completely independent. So they can
More
just do
control,
whatever the fuck
They
they
have way
want.
more control over what they carry. They got hot pockets in that bitch, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it's like a little Indian market, correct?
Yeah. It's
I love
awesome.
You're
Yeah.
you were you a fan of chocolate?
Of course.
So
What if they
dude,
get
next time you go in to any of the Indian stores, look for the candy called Alibaba.
Okay.
They are these little chocolate coffee-ish kind of wafer things, and they're so
Oh, I've
good.
seen those.
Yeah, they're like super, like they're in a blue I mean, it
think
could
I
be
have
purple.
too.
I'm
I think
colorblind as shit, so I'm not positive. It's in this blue or purple packaging. It kind of looks almost like Nestle, like Crunch Bar-esque, but it's a lot
Yeah.
thinner. And they're like these like almost like a Nutty Bar kind of idea. But it's like this coffee-ish chocolate. They're so good. Me and my buddies used to get like at least like you could buy a case of them for like $7 because they can get them in so cheap.
Yeah.
When I lived in Texas, there was one up the road. I went to go buy a pack of beer. The lady looks at me. She's like, "Are you 21?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, okay, never mind." And I was like, "Okay."
No.
She'd be like, "No, I'm not."
Well, hey,
shit.
that's a big compliment for you.
Yeah.
And
So
apparently you look younger than 21 to some people.
when I went to go get my alcohol, the rocks liquor, the guy looked at me and he was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "You me?" I was like 30, and he was like, I was like, I don't know what that means.
Like, what do you mean?
Dude, that was 2 days ago. He was like, and he's typed it in.
Okay.
It's the I'm not sure about this one checkbox.
Yeah. Keep an eye on this guy.
Just seems like a too round number. Like it was too spot on.
30 seems thought about.
Yeah.
Like you thought about this going into the store before you went in. If anyone asks, I'm 30 years
Don't
old.
lie.
I got him. I tried to show him my license. He's like, "No, you're good." Yeah. Okay.
You're trying too hard. Please
That
stop.
doesn't fucking make me feel very good, huh, sir?
I
You got anything else?
How you'd react.
Yeah, I know, right? Got anything else, Schroeder?
Nah, man, that's pretty much been my my week.
What about you, Nate?
Yeah, that's it.
So obviously I was missing last week.
You had the
So
death
kind of
disease.
to push everything together. But then these past 2 weeks, I've just been playing a lot of Rainbow Six. Realistically, the game I've been playing probably the most has been Code Vein, which that game is phenomenal. Like Bandai Namco, everyone knows them. They make good games. They developed. I think developed the
Published.
second and third published the second and third Souls games. I don't know if they did Bloodborne or not. Did they do Bloodborne? Do you know?
No,
They didn't. That was fully FromSoft, right?
Bamco did Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Sony did Demon Souls and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
published them.
Yeah, because Sony was like, "Oh yeah, these games worked really well," but so basically, the long short of the game. Oh god, it's so good. The storyline is so good. But bunch of people were. I don't know how to explain. There was a thing called the Great Collapse that had happened. The Great Collapse was this. The game's really hard to explain. So, because it tells you everything that had happened directly after the Great Collapse. There was the war with Queen. Then there was the Project Queen thing, which was to take out the Queen. So I'll just try to explain the best I can. There's a bunch of people that everyone used to be normal people, and they're still humans, but they're stuck over in the provisional government because there's so few and far in between. They still need people, and everyone else is pretty much what's called a revenant. A revenant is a vampire. Like it's basically a vampire because they need to feed and they drink blood and all this shit. But now they're drinking what they have to do with these things called blood beads. And I can't talk about too much exactly where the blood beads come from because that spoils a huge part of the game. Because I found out where they came from. I'm like, oh shit. But so basically, to be as honest as I can, a lot of the game's like backstory comes from after beating a boss, and then you learn about what exactly happened, which ruins the beginning of the game. So like I said, there's a bunch of vampire stuff, anime, super good story, soundtracks are awesome, bless you. The game is just so good. You're fighting a bunch of fallen revenants called the Lost. And the Lost is what happens when a revenant suffers from thirst, not being able to drink any kind of blood at all. And oh Jesus, hi. Okay. What happens is, sorry. I'm gonna mark it PG-13 now. Oh, but no. So when a revenant suffers from thirst, they go into what's called frenzy, and then they just mutate into these creatures, and they all kind of turn into different creatures. Some of them just grow like this giant claw and like these horn-looking things, and they still look fairly human-like. Then others just turn to these giant fucking beasts that become bosses, or these like mini bosses that aren't actually bosses. They're just really heavy heavy NPC villains. If you've played a Souls game, you got the gist of it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
So Nate,
What's up? Yeah.
How
I thought I heard someone else.
how long have you spent customizing your character in this game? How long would you say?
Like in total, just one character or building like.
Let's just do your main. How long? Because this is Fashion Souls, from what you've been saying.
Dude, I really
like
play.
Fashion Souls.
I play the game 100% like fashion vein, like for sure.
I heard
did the
you
same
one
thing
day
with fucking
talking to
Bloodborne.
Brandon, and you're like, I have to keep the continuity between the cutscenes.
No, okay. So there was the thing that had happened that was in like, because you go into this one part of the game where it's the memories of your character, because you start off the game with having just woken up from your previous death, and when you die, you slowly lose your memories, depending how ingrained they are or important they were to your soul staying intact and all this good stuff, and your heart's like the most important part. So like when you die, you could either lose a memory you never even remembered, or something super important, like this one girl lost a memory of her child. It's not super important, it's just secondary dialogue stuff. But customizing my character, because I really do have the need to keep continuity, because this one character had ended up shooting me after I did a certain thing, and because I was about to start suffering from what's called frenzy. My eyes started to like dilate, they changed, I was getting like these blue veins going up the side of my face, and I was starting to mutate. So he was my comrade during this fight, and he said, "So long, sleep well, my friend," and he fucking shoots me with a bloodshot right through the heart, and I fall off a cliff. He hasn't seen me, and I think the timeline's roughly like between 2 and 5 years.
I hate it when that happens.
So he shoots me, I fall off. So the second the cutscene's over, I go back to the tower, I go into the customization, and I start building the scar on the side of my face, a like changed eye, and like, because I realized the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to end up meeting him, because I met him earlier, he didn't remember me, but this time I actually had to confront him, and he's like, "It's you. I killed you with my own hands. It wasn't something I had wanted to do, but you were suffering from frenzy because my mask had gotten broken. Basically, you're wearing these gas mask looking things because of the miasma that's in the air. The miasma speeds up thirst and causes you pretty much to go into like an instant frenzy. So that's what happened to me. And just on that part alone, I spent like 45 minutes. But in total, I've probably spent a good... I played the game for 42 hours. I've probably spent a good 3.5 to 4.5 hours on customization. Because one night I decided to completely rework my characters, and so the problem is I wanted to make my guy a little bit taller. So I had to stop the game I was playing, go over, create a new character, save him to my save file, load him into my new game, and then continue customizing with how I wanted my previous character to look. So I had to redo my old character all the way on this slightly taller body, because I realized I was shorter than this one person that I didn't like, and I just couldn't have that. But yeah, a lot of time when in that game, I like to make my characters look as like, depending on the situation. Once again, because Brandon doesn't understand this, and I have to keep continuity. Like it's got to make sense in the timeline. If something had happened that I'm injured from, I got to be injured. Even though like it's so minimal, and half of this is covered by the face mask you're wearing, I know it's there.
You know, with what you're saying there, you actually might like that Elite Dangerous. You're gonna spend an hour making a guy look nice. You might actually enjoy the min-maxing of that game.
Okay, I'll probably give it a shot.
You may think that this is a podcast, but in reality, this is just an intervention for your character customization problem.
Dude, so my first time playing Skyrim, dude, I sat there for like 2.5 to 3 hours getting him exactly how I wanted to. So if a game gives me the option to full-blown customize my characters, it's a problem, because I've just spent half the time it will probably take to play the game, like at least the first like 3 stories, I just spent in customization. Like I did the same thing. Like I'd have to go back in and wear battle-torn stuff that didn't cause any like extra armor to be given or anything like that, but just to keep with me getting hit by like a dragon or some shit in like fucking Skyrim. Like I have to keep things with what had just happened in the story. It's a lot. But yeah, Code Vein's great. If you like Souls games, check that out. I think it's back to full price, but Banpo games usually go on sale relatively frequently. Not a lot, but they at least a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Solid game. The multiplayer works great. The queuing for multiplayer people works really good, especially if you're looking for just a random. They come pretty quickly. Other than that, I played a lot of Rainbow Six. Just kind of hanging out. Got called back into work, so I've been doing work again. Not a lot actually, and realistically, it feels like the days go a little bit faster now that with what we're doing, instead of just aimlessly waiting to talk to customers and whatnot. Now that I'm like consistently on the phone or doing something else in my spare time. I've also been watching a lot of JoJo's in multiple various places. But yeah, watching a lot of JoJo's, and I'm not going to really talk about that because just listen to the first half an hour of our preamble, and I talked a lot about JoJo's. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, for anyone unfamiliar, great anime, phenomenal series. Like, I was skeptical because, like, usually when people stand something this fucking hard, it's not actually that good. This is where I correct myself. This was fantastic. Definitely something to check out if you haven't. Other than that, I've been rewatching The Office again because why not?
Literally one of the best shows that's ever happened to TV.
Oh, 100%. It's so good. I'm not like I don't know why.
Yeah, where are you?
Andy's family just had his whole debacle, and he just went on the boat. And I stopped the episode right before he ended up snapping and telling everyone to get off, buying it back, and just fucking going. Like, he was sitting in the den with Aaron, and he's like, I am the captain. I am the captain.
I am the captain now.
This is my boat. I'm the captain. And he was about to go lose his shit on the fucking Ed Sheeran looking wannabe.
Yeah, because he kept slapping his hand. He kept slapping his hand.
God damn it, Dad.
Don't touch that.
Ed Helms is so underrated. Like, I love Ed Helms
he's
so
hilarious.
much.
He's great.
He's so good. The only, like I said, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but the only thing I've ever not liked of his isn't even because of him, but Coffee and Kareem was not a very good movie. But yeah, watching a lot of TV and stuff, playing a lot of video games. Other than that, I kind of messed with Unreal Engine, but I didn't really understand a lot of it, so I have to sit down and watch the video that's in the Discord. I just don't understand. Like, I was trying to find like movement mechanics and shit, and I'm like, what am I doing? I can't find menus and shit. I just didn't understand how to work the thing at all. Like, I was completely illiterate. Just speaking French to me.
We could talk about this afterwards. Okay. I think I know how I can get you.
Yeah, I think I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I opened it. I used Blueprint, and I think maybe that's another issue. Apparently, Blueprint's harder to use from what I've heard. I don't know. I have no idea, but it was super difficult. I also don't know how to use C++, so that's why I didn't even touch that. I figured I could try to figure this out from here, but nah. I was just a character, and I was able to get him to move, and I went up and down the set of stairs a lot. But that's all I had. Other than that, as far as I know, I didn't do very much. I don't think I did. I got new glasses, and they have blue light filters in them. Nice. I'm really hyped because they're cool. And every time I look into like something and I can see like the blue, and James will actually understand this reference now because he's watched the movie. I feel like Gideon at the end when he did the blue lines in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. They go across because like if you can see, like it just blocks out the blue light, so it has a blue light filter, and it's just this blue like square that goes across, and it makes me feel like Gideon. I don't really like Gideon very much, but I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, I have not had super exciting week in the regards of new stuff I've been doing. I can't think of anything else. I think I did something else, but I don't remember.
I know that.
You guys probably talked about it last time, but I watched the movie. We all watched the movie. I know you guys probably talked about that.
We talked about that in length.
That was a thing.
Butt boy.
That movie was something for sure.
Movie was nuts.
Oh, in the past 2 weeks, I've gotten into a couple hefty debates. That's for sure.
Master debater right there.
Yeah. It's something crazy. And just a heads up, I don't know if this is happening to anyone else, but for me, Mark, your audio is on point, but the video isn't caught up with it.
Makes sense.
Like your audio.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got a little bit
Exactly.
of a delay.
Yeah.
We'll just join back.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just join.
Yeah.
There you
There
are.
we go. Much
Yeah.
better.
But yeah, that's
It was
all from me,
good
honestly.
too.
Okay.
Mark, what you up to?
Nothing too crazy. I've honestly just been working a shit ton during this break. Like it's not been full time. It's only been like 30 or so hours a week, but I'm definitely staying busy, doing this sort of thing.
That's the
Video
important
game,
thing.
yeah. Video game wise, we've been playing a shit ton of Rocket League, at least as far as what I've been doing. A bunch of Rocket League. I tried out Elite Dangerous. The tutorials took a shit ton of time, and I got too angsty and couldn't really sit through it. So I might have to go through it again. It's the first time I played it, it was on VR, so the experience was a lot different. And so I remember playing it for a while and then just kind of getting bored, which now I can understand where that came from. It's just like I kind of have to be into it and stuck into it, and I guess I just haven't really gotten there yet. So yeah, we'll see if I get back into Elite Dangerous. I've been playing a shit ton of Planet Coaster as well in my free time.
Nice.
So like whenever it's late, I would be playing that, going through the scenarios, trying to get all 3 stars on everything, just because I think it's fun and I enjoy it. So I've been thinking about streaming that just for shits and giggles, but yeah,
I'd watch it.
who knows whenever I actually stream. Yeah, I would have fun, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
I guess. I also played Drug Dealer Simulator this week.
Saw that when you popped up. It just said you were playing drug dealer. Me and Brandon were like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
What's it called?
Drug Dealer Simulator. It's on Steam. It's, to my understanding, that it's the first game by this developer. It feels like an early access game. Like I can see the potentials there. It's you simulate being a drug dealer. So some dude
Well,
hollers at you says,
it
some dude hollers
accomplishes-
at you says, "I want a gram of whatever, a gram of spice," and you're like, "All right, I got you." And if you have it, you split it up, and then you put it into a little bag and deliver it, and you get some cash out of it. Otherwise, you message the cartel. The cartel, put some drugs somewhere, and then split it up and give it to your dude. Repeat. Like,
Nice.
So like you said, it felt like an early
Just like
access
real
game.
life.
Does it feel like well done? Are the controls good, or like does it feel like a lot of things need tweaked, or does it play well?
it just needs polished.
Okay.
Like it feels like like all of the things that are there function and work, but it could be done a lot better. Like
Okay.
there's a handful of the menu systems that don't really work too well. Like, for example, if you have a big bag of drugs that you want to split out into something, you gotta like right click on the big bag of drugs, and then like go into a menu and then click like add to pile or something, and
This
then
feels
adds
like
it into
surreal.
there, and then you gotta click like right click on that and then click size or like add to mix. Then you determine the size of that, and then you portion it off into that, and it's like so many little things you gotta do. It's just way too confusing UI wise. Like I understand and it makes sense. It just could be done a lot better.
Oh,
But
that's great.
also an indie developer, so
Can't give him too much flack.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's their first title, so I can't give them too much flack there. I just wish it would have been an early access game still.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
not early
Instead
access.
of- no, it's a full release.
Wow.
They're updating it, but it's for a full game. It's not worth it yet, in my opinion.
Wow.
Is it
Okay.
free?
They do have a free sample that you can play, which is pretty solid amount of content. At least if you play that, you can determine if you like the game or not, because you do literally everything. So recommend that at least.
Heck yeah, man.
But that's been my week. Nothing too crazy.
Nice. I guess I'll go next. So my week, at least for interesting stuff, can be summarized by 3 things. But let's not talk about those 3 things yet. Let's talk about the boring stuff. Hey, Animal Crossing's still great.
Hey.
Red's coming to my island. I bought some art off of him. My museum has expanded. I have an art section now. My shop has been upgraded, so there's more stuff there. I bought a 60,000 bell 20-inch TV, so that's pretty cool.
Jesus, that's expensive.
The Sable sisters were selling a 1.2 million bell crown, and I get immediately insulted, thinking, who the fuck around here has 1.2 million bells?
Who the fuck is
Did you
getting
say 60,000 bells was the first one?
For a TV, yeah, 20-inch LCD TV.
Bro, that's how much the first house cost in the first Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I know, because I was just playing it on the emulator the other day. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's 60,000.
Fun. Jesus.
So, yeah, that's still going. Final Fantasy VII Remake is still fantastic. I'm loving every minute of it.
How far into it are you?
About 12 hours, I would say. Nothing too
now,
big.
you beat the original? Did you end up beating it?
Nope. About halfway through disc 2.
Can you give us an idea how far in the first one you are in regards to the new one you're in?
It's really hard to do that because they added so much to this one.
Mm-hmm. Are you out of the first city?
That's not going to happen until the next game.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
This game
is literally just the first chapter of the...
It's just essentially the first disc of Final Fantasy VII.
Jesus.
So, like, I'm outside of Sector 7. I'm hanging out with Aerith right now. In the Sector 5 slums. The flower girl. The one with the staff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shitballs. You haven't even left the main complex. Wow.
No. You won't leave Midgar until the second game.
Now, how often do they plan on releasing these?
Probably every 2 years. You also got to think, too, this one game is about a 60-hour game.
Is the amount of new content, like, enough to hold people over, you think?
Yeah, they are adding very...
How many years before we can fight Sephiroth?
A while.
6.
We got a while.
Yeah, it's going to be at least like 6 years or something if they go on that road. It's going to be longer than that if they go on that pace.
Now, they probably got a lot of the hard stuff done now because they're familiar with the engine they're using. They got a lot of the character models already made. The infrastructure's already there. So it's really just making new assets and plopping new stuff in. Pretty much. So it probably, I would say about... And to think they probably were already starting work on part 2 near the tail end of the first game's, dev cycle ending. They probably already started working on it. I would assume probably about 18 months.
Madness.
Or so. But yeah, no, they've like you remember Jesse Biggs and Wedge, the members of Avalanche?
Yeah.
Jesse has a whole story part now where you go to her like family's house and you go to the upper plate and hang out up there and you get to meet other members of like some other members of Avalanche from like other subsets of Avalanche.
The Shinra team or whatever?
No, not even talking about them.
Are you talking about the characters from Avenge Children? The two that are like...
No.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no. These are different characters and everything. They added like Jessie, her main
Advent Children are the you're talking about the people in the black, like the black like, suits. They're part of a different crew. They're part of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Very charismatic bad guys. They make me want to be on that team of bad guys. Especially if I go up halfway down my chest.
They're part of the Turks.
Turks, there we go.
Yeah, part of the Turks.
Yeah, I just fought. I'm a little bit past Reno, fighting Reno.
Is he part of them?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Turks, yeah, he's one of the villains.
So he looked really cool. Like
Reno's
he seemed like a good guy.
The Turks are great. The Turks are really cool.
So
They're
are they a bad guy in
badasses.
the same respect of like Sephiroth being a bad guy, or like
No,
a bad guy in
no.
the same
They
No.
just
respect
don't know
of
why they're bad guys.
Avalanche
They just
being a
know they
bad
have to
guy?
be bad guys.
Yeah,
They're not
just
even bad guys, really. They just have a job.
think of them as
Yeah.
think of them as Shinra like super special forces.
Okay.
So they're just following orders.
Yeah,
Right.
they're essentially hired to kill people, but when it comes down to it, like they don't want to.
The Black Ops
But-
Hit Squad.
Yeah,
Bingo.
pretty much.
Okay.
They don't want to. They're like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, fine, whatever, let's go. Like
Yeah,
that's
'cause,
kind of
like-
like their mentality.
That Reno guy, when I was watching James' stream, like he didn't even get to finish talking about what he was talking about, and I don't think I finished watching the whole thing, or I think maybe his stream had crashed or something during that time. I'm not 100% positive what happened, but it seemed like he was almost like talking as if he was like, you don't understand that, like, and then Cloud was like, nah, fuck this guy, and
Well,
like
because-
he seemed like a good guy. He just had to do his shit,
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
that's what the Turks are. They just have to do their
making a
shit.
living.
And then you find out later in the game with eventually they're just like, fuck it, who cares? I don't like screw this. Like screw this lifestyle is pretty much what it comes is in the original game is essentially kind of how it plays out. I don't know if it would be the same in this.
Oh, probably. I would assume so.
But eventually they're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Because he seems like he would be a really cool guy to have on your team. I
So
like him.
they never join up, but
Right.
they realize their common enemy is Sephiroth. Sephiroth when it's
The
all
enemy
said
of my
and done.
enemy is my friend.
He reminded me almost of like an Ignis-esque character, but a little bit more happy-go-lucky, kind of like free-spirited. Because Ignis was obviously like super like by the book kind of thing.
So by the end of this disc, are you going to, or this disc? By the end of this game, are you going to cross paths with Yuffie or Sid?
No, not yet.
Everybody. But no, not in
yet.
this game, but
Yeah.
eventually, yes.
Sid, Cat Sith, Yuffie, Vincent, and
Vincent.
Red 13 are going to be playable probably in the next one.
Well,
Like,
you'd think
we'll
Red
s-
13
we'll
would be.
meet
Oh no,
Red
he
13.
isn't.
He's
Red
at the
13's
very
in this
tail
game.
end. Yeah,
He's,
Red
in-
13
he's in the game, but you don't play as him.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Because he. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's a experiment, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
okay.
he hangs out with. I think you doesn't he hang out with Yuffie?
No.
What is that?
Oh,
How you
if-
pronounce her name?
Yuffie.
Y-U-F-F-I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yuffie. Yuffie's
I
the.
thought-
Yeah, she hangs
In
out
the-
in the
in
Ninja
the-
Village.
Yeah, I thought he
Later
was, like,
down the road.
homies
Yeah.
with her.
Later down the road.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you don't play as Red 13 because they didn't consider him an essential part of this
Well, and
particular arc.
he only appeared for
So-
like the very tail end of
Yeah.
disc 1, and it's great that I can talk about this now because I've actually played it now.
Yeah, they this particular game focuses on the major backstory of Tifa, of Barrett, of Aerith, like their town is essentially because
Yeah.
you're only in that in the actual game probably for about
Probably
5 hours,
yeah.
if that, because essentially you blow up the Shinra Corporation, they fucking drop a city on your face, and then you leave, and then that's it.
That's what I remember. I remember
Yeah.
that.
And that's how it
That's why
goes.
when you're like the whole entire first thing is you in the city, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They
That was like
stretch that,
20 minutes.
Yeah, they stretch
Yeah.
that out to a 60-hour game.
Yeah. They have side quests, they have everything
Uh-huh.
that you can do. They basically took Final Fantasy and expanded it to every little detail that it can be expanded to.
I'll tell you what, once I saw the opportunity, I mean, once I saw the fact that you can play as a trap for a little bit, I was like, I'm in.
So did they kind of go into those Dementor looking fuckers?
Not yet. At least not
Okay,
that I
'cause I'm
played.
curious
That's
as to that.
crazy, though, man.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
knew that there was a lot of it. Like, as I understood it, a great deal of it was going to be them expanding on that first area, but I didn't know the entire fucking game was
Yeah.
that.
That's the remake side of it.
Jeez.
Is when they were making this, they said it would be pointless for them to do a frame by frame remake of Final Fantasy VII. It wouldn't make sense nowadays. It wouldn't. People would still buy it, yes, because Final Fantasy VII, but with all the technology you have now,
Mm-hmm.
they said it
And
didn't
all
make
the
any
cloud
sense.
it already has.
Yeah, they didn't. It didn't make sense for them just to take the game, make it, take it from Resident Evil to Resident Evil 1 remake and add little bits and pieces. Like, to them, it didn't make any sense for doing that because at that point, they would just make a new Final Fantasy game and call it a day. So they decided that they need to expand on it, give people a deeper respect for the game, and tell the story that hasn't been told yet.
Yeah, and especially of
while
these
keeping
characters.
parts of while keeping the structure the same, the characters the same, but expanding on those characters in grave detail.
Now, have they done many? Has anybody done many other projects like this?
Not
where they
on
completely rebuild it like this?
Not
like
on this
the
extent.
remake stuffs, like R3 remake. Did they? Because the R3 didn't. The remake didn't look. I remember playing the game and it looks. The remake does look different than the game did.
Yeah, it's
At least I feel like it did. I could be wrong, but
RE2
I feel like
and
RE
RE3 remake. They did change some stuff from the originals, but it's nowhere near
the
to
same
the
path.
scope of Final Fantasy VII. This is essentially an entirely different game.
Yeah.
That follows the same framework.
Seems like it. Jeez.
Yeah. The end goal is the same, but to get there, they went around the world to get you there.
You're
essentially what they're
doing. You know
doing.
how there's the director's cuts of movies? Like how the director's cut of Lord of the Rings, each movie's like 3 hours long? Think of this as the director's cut of Final Fantasy VII.
That's gangsta.
On steroids.
On steroids, yeah.
Yeah, each game will be about 100 gig game. So you're looking 3 or 4 games, probably 4 is what they're plotting it out to be. You're muted.
No, I'm just I'm mouthing.
Okay, sorry. I was like,
Thank you, though. I
How's he
appreciate
muted?
you
No,
mentioning
you're good.
that. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's gonna
My
be about.
Discord says there's no audio coming out, but I checked and.
No, you're good. I hear you.
You're good.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be 4 games. Each game 100 gigs.
That's wild.
How many games are they expecting to see?
Oh, sorry. The original was 3.
Yeah, the original was 3 discs. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be a 3 game title.
3 or 4.
3 games,
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, if
3
they're
or 4
if
full
taking a
games.
whole one just to get out of the town, I mean, come on. There's a lot of towns in that game.
Yeah.
Like,
There is.
But I feel
So-
like if they follow it like this, and just going off of how the original game is, Disc 1 was just Midgar
Yeah.
in the original. And then you would swap over to Disc 2. And that's when the open world stuff started going. That's where you go to the Gold Saucer. That's where you find Yuffie. You go to Niflheim. Nibelheim.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the towns that aren't required.
Costa del
So
Sol.
I don't see them putting as much effort into the non-required
Oh, no, bullshit.
cities.
Bullshit.
Well,
I think they will.
They're still gonna put a ton into it, but I mean, in terms of what you can do,
I
if you
think
go
they're-
to the
everything's gonna be
story,
important.
like the story towns, I think they're gonna expand those like crazy. But like the chocobo stables, like there's not really
They would
much to
have
do in
'cause
there.
How would you? Well, they kind of changed how you get summons in this one, but I would assume that. I mean, I would want them to make getting Knights of the Round basically the exact same.
That'll be interesting. How they do that. If
I
they
wanna
even have that
pull
in
my
game.
fucking. By the time Final Fantasy VII Disc 3 or 4 or 29 comes out, I want to be bald because of me trying to get those chocobos. Breeding the chocobos. I want to be bald because of how much I've ripped my hair out.
Dude, I can't even imagine the lengths that they would go through to do chocobo breeding in this game. If they decide to go that route, but it'll be fucking insane.
Craziest.
We'll see. There's literally zero information about the other ones other than they are being made. That's it. That's all we know. So what else you done, James?
Other than those 2 things, as like the normal stuff every week kind of thing. I have been playing. Well, you, me, and Mark have been playing Worms WMD.
Fuck yeah, we have.
Worms.
That was fun. Yeah, I
Fantastic.
forgot.
Yeah, Jeff,
Schroeder
you
played it
jumped
too.
in. Yeah, you jumped
Yeah.
in at I only played
couple
like one
rounds.
game. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played. That game's fantastic. I love Worms. Worms is so much fun.
It is pretty fun.
Worms is so much fun.
Actually, a really old game too, to be honest with you.
It's been around for teams, like 25 years or so, 35 years.
Oh yeah. When you got off the next match, James, I did full wormage, which gives you unlimited of every single item.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to do that.
That was pretty fucking intense. I think we all had 8 people, and we were on this tiny ass island, and we were like, "This is gonna be interesting." I fucking throw an Armageddon,
Oh fuck.
eliminated 18 people.
Fuck.
Like, what the fuck is this? It's gonna be a quick ass game. I was like, I didn't know what it was.
I've also, well, I mean, I've been playing Rainbow Six a lot, but I've also checked out
I just picked that up.
what.
I just scooped up Rainbow Six.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't.
I think Amos told
I
me
think
that.
I got it installed.
You need
I
to
haven't
play it.
played it yet.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just worried that if I start playing it, it'll be another one that I put 1,000 hours into.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter though, so I mean,
It's a first-person shooter with a purpose.
yeah, it's not like Call of
Okay.
Duty. It's nothing
No,
like
yeah,
Call
it's
of
not
Duty.
shoot, bang, kill. It's let's meticulously play this game because if I die, I get to sit and watch my friends play.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my problem. I can't do that.
No. Okay.
Well, Walker, they actually have characters that are more attuned to kind of running
Older
around.
people.
Yeah.
Old people, you fuck.
Like,
That's what it is, Walker. That's why.
are you fully familiar with Rainbow Six Shooter?
That 14-year-old shoot me to death every time we turn around. Huh?
Are you familiar with Rainbow Six though, like the concept and
I'm
everything?
familiar with the classic ones, the ones where you have to like
Okay,
plot
two
a
different
route
games.
before you even get in. And
No, that's kind of similar.
Similar in concept, but I wouldn't say the
Yeah.
old ones had the exact same like. It wasn't like the 5v5 kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It was like everything you wanted the old games to be. It was like, imagine if we were an actual squad of guys like breaking into this house trying to get the hostage. Like, what would we do? Like, if we had the tools to do it. That's
Yeah.
this game.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I would say that like the Vegas games were like that too, but not
What's-
the online like competitive stuff.
They were.
What's that game that Payday? Is it like it sounds like it's like Payday but with more
Sort of, kind
Yeah,
of.
Payday's a lot more arcadey.
Hmm. Oh yeah, a lot more.
Like-
okay.
This is kind of like
Yeah.
think of like Overwatch and Payday combined together
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
because the
Okay.
characters have different strengths and weaknesses and different abilities that they have.
Yeah, that's what I heard somebody saying that. That's one of the big things that make it a lot different than typical FPS is each character each character kind of has its own if you guys ever lived in a place where the fucking floor is tilted a little tiny bit and your character just keeps fucking rolling backwards like this.
Yeah.
God damn it. My calves are killing me from pulling myself forward.
James'
least
character
you're
makes
working out.
sweaters.
Yeah, my character just hands out sweaters to everyone.
yeah.
I meticulously make sweaters and just hand them out to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
that
a
sounds like an
there's a
effective
play
thing to
there's a
combat
character
situation.
for pretty much everyone's play
Mhm.
style.
Yeah,
Like,
How many
that's the
characters
beauty.
are there?
a lot.
There's a total of 50.
Get the hell out of here. There's 50
Yeah,
characters?
there's
Between
about
attack-
25 on the defenders and about 25 on the attackers, and then there's room for possibly a total of 6 more.
And all these characters have their own, like, niches they fill?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like they all have a special like ability. Now, mind you, realistically, they
boy.
could have the most OP ability in the game. The thing that people need to the reason I ended up getting a little bit better last night, I had a great fucking game. We ended up playing unranked, and I left there with 10 kills. I would have been
Nice.
MVP, but the other team fucking beat us on accident because me and AIM got fucked. Because our whole team died, and then we had a person leave, and we did 45 minutes took us to get through this game. We ended up going through
Wow.
unranked can go anywhere between it can go up to 9 rounds a piece. Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, you have a chance for like 45 kills or some shit. But anyway, so the focusing on the guns is the big thing. Getting a gun that works for you is that's the big thing you need to like focus in. Like you could love someone's abilities, but if they have trash guns and the recoil is terrible and whatnot, that's where it's really gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like I personally, when I'm an attacker, I play one of two characters. I have more that I mess with once in a while, but I ended up getting this girl named Callie, which is a sniper, and her gun just eviscerates everything in front of it. Mind you, it's a long range gun, so if you're super close range, you're kind of fucked. But I also have this little like rapid fire, super silent pistol that I love fucking with people because I'll shoot their feet and then they won't know where it's coming from because you can't hear. That's another big thing is making sure you know where people are coming from. Like you're listening. Because like you can hear if they're running on the left side, you're going to hear them running hard on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
why do
also
you
about
shoot
like
the feet?
sneaking. Oh, I shot their feet just to fuck with people. Because like there was this dude specifically in this one match. He was laying down. His feet were poking out behind a corner, right over a sofa. And I shot his feet with my little pistol. He ended up turning around real fast, and then I just pinked him in the head because he couldn't tell where I was coming from because the gun I have has a silencer and it's super quiet to begin with. But yeah, there's a lot to do. Like there's breachers, there's more meticulous characters. My defender, I actually throw up a bunch of like magnets in the room that if anyone throws a projectile, it catches them and then it causes it to go off in their general area or
That's
above, so it doesn't kill
dope.
you. Yeah, I play a character
That's
called
cool,
Wamai.
man.
He's super dope. He's a really
wait.
good character.
What are some other like little side abilities you get real quick? Just like that's an interesting one.
oh, there's-
something that's so you know. Try to appeal to that sense. What other little cool abilities like that are there in this one?
Well, there's like my main on the attacker is Blackbeard, and he has like a shield that he slaps on the top of his gun, so it makes it a little harder. One, to get shot in the face, and two, it can kind of like mitigate some damage.
When Blackbeard, I mind you, it doesn't sound that impressive of ability, but when
Right, you tell me I
Blackbeard's
can
like
put
one of the
a
last
double
people
on the end of my gun.
alive, and he's crouched because his gun kind of covers his knees just a little bit. You have to really focus in on those feet. But if you're focusing on the feet and you're not paying attention to where he's aiming, because you can't hit like the middle of him, it can break, but it's really annoying.
Mhm.
Like Blackbeard's definitely someone not to fuck with, unless you know how to kill Blackbeard.
Yeah, he has like a little bit of his head exposed, and then like his knees downward if he's crouching, which is not a huge hitbox.
Mm-mm.
No, that's not.
Another character is Fuse. Fuse is really cool.
Mhm.
He goes around onto like wood paneled floors. He can't go through concrete, but like you can do walls, like plaster walls and all this shit. And he puts this thing on and he connects it to the wall. And then once you set it off, it shoots out 6 heat-seeking grenades that'll explode. So it's if you're all hauled up in the one room that happens to have a vulnerable spot, like a wall that wasn't like protected from your big metal fucking
Can you
barricade
see it as you're
things.
walking past it?
No, because you're on the outside and they're inside.
Yeah, you're on the outside of the wall.
So yeah, Fuse is on the
Oh.
outside, putting it onto walls and shit, and then clicks it, and it shoots out grenades. And they're like these little hockey puck looking grenades.
Yeah.
So they have a really hard roll too. So like if you get hit with one of those, you're dead.
But like those
Uh-huh.
heat-seeking parts, it doesn't care if you're a teammate or an enemy. It'll heat-seek right to them, so you got to be careful.
Oh yeah, you can kill your team. Yeah.
Or kill yourself
I've
pretty easy.
used aim a couple times. I have killed myself with one of those once. Another one. This is another interesting one. This is an attacker. Her name's Iana, and she has a. I hate Iana, but she has a Gemini, and a Gemini is basically it's a hologram drone. So it goes out and it's controllable. I mind you, this one's where it starts to get a little far-fetched, but I could see where the idea for the realistic part of it would be.
Well, isn't she a part of
is-
like the Space Defense Force or something like that?
Yeah, she's a little up there. So her character shoots out this little like drone that is completely movable. It's kind of like an AI kind of thing, and you run. It's basically for you to scout things out. It looks exactly like her, and if you shoot her, it just says plus 60. But she just found your location because you shot her. So like she looks around, she can see everything,
Mhm.
but you get marked if you kill the Gemini. So that's the
How
big
long do you
thing.
march for?
I want to say it's like 30 seconds, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then my other main is Lion, and I have this giant drone in the sky, and it just goes boom, 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 and it fucking, if anyone's moving at all, it pings them on the map for us so we can go find them. Aim's main is Cav, and she has like a super silent step with this like super overpowered pistol, so she's completely impossible to hear. And if she knocks you down and doesn't kill you, she can do what's called an interrogation. And an interrogation marks the entire team on the entire enemy team on the map.
Damn.
There's a lot of cool shit in there.
They're talking about Ghost.
What's up?
For those just joining us, we're talking about Ghost.
Ghost? Siege?
Ghost, isn't it Ghost Recon Siege?
No, Rainbow Six.
No, Rainbow Six.
Six.
It's a Tom Clancy game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ghost Recon has Breakpoint.
Okay, that's what it was. My bad. Okay.
But yeah,
That's still dope, though.
definitely a cool game.
All right, well, I'll have to join you here soon.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Well, after
Sounds
this,
like
depending how long, come play a game with us, because I'm down to play one at least.
I know.
I'll play with you if no one else does.
Is there a long? There's a long break-in period to get into it?
Not really. So it depends which one you had gotten. So you'll probably have recruit, or you'll have the first row of each characters, and it's trial and error, playing with characters you like, seeing if you get used to them. Another one of the quick people, just real quick for like one of the characters Mark plays a lot, Mute. He's a defender. He walks around, puts these little like router looking jammers up. And because your first thing when you're an attacker, you're having these drones going to look around for people and find the objective and shit. And if you get caught by a mute jammer, you're fucked. You're blind. You can't see. You're done. Period. So like you can't like continue searching for the objective. And like it cancels out any kind of electronics. So like if you're trying to fuse where a mute is, it's just gonna say can't. Like it's just saying you're not gonna do this. It's not happening because there's this shit here. It's cool. It's a good game.
I also checked out A Plague's Tale past few days.
How was that?
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've been.
That game looks amazing. It doesn't it plays on the same vein as like Hellblade, right?
No.
It has a lot. Doesn't it have a lot of that like the artist? It's a similar type of play style. Like a straight story. It's there's not a lot of pandering.
Yeah, no,
it's
a
not a
hallway.
very long game.
It's a hallway game, yeah, where it's just
yep.
going point A to point B. Yeah.
Say it doesn't seem like, at least when you were playing when I was on, it didn't seem like you were super thrilled about it to begin with.
No, I actually.
It seemed like something was pissing you off real fucking quick in the first like 5-10 minutes of the game.
I think I had a problem. I had a little glitch at the very beginning where.
Yeah, because you had said something amongst the idea of like, if this wasn't so well reviewed, I'd turn it off right the fuck now.
Yeah, because of the fucking dog dying right at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what it was.
So what I like to call this game, and I thought of this earlier. This is Are You Afraid of the Dark? The game.
Okay.
So like old Joe?
Kinda, but it's in more of a literal sense. Darkness is the dark is bad, very, very, very bad.
Yeah, the game previews made it look like it was.
So,
you won't be caught in the dark.
It takes place in France during the Inquisition. And you're this one character, Amelie, and her brother, Hugo.
And the plague is going on at this time, too, yeah.
Yes.
You
yeah.
don't mess with the Spanish Inquisition.
It's basically your main enemies are rats. Hordes and hordes and hordes of rats that are unkillable. The only way to avoid the rats, and they only come out at night or in dark areas, the only way to take care of the rats is you have to have some sort of fire, some sort of light source to make sure that they skitter all over, they skitter away. That could be holding a torch. That could be seeing a hay bale and shooting it with like a fire rock and igniting it. That could be...
Her main weapon is a slingshot.
Yep. Yeah, her main weapon's a slingshot. And
she's not about killing, right?
You can get things that can do killing. Like, there are some moments where you kill, and she is visibly... One thing that I will say about it is, have any of you ever played the Tomb Raider reboot from 2016? No? Alright, so one of the main focuses, like, the very first thing in the game, when you're Lara Croft, is she has to...
I love what you're about to say.
She has to kill someone. And she's just a regular person at this point. Never killed anyone before. She's just treasure hunter.
Right.
She kills someone, and she just kind of just feels so, like, terrible about murdering someone. She's never done it before.
It really plays on the emotional part. It's not many games do it. A lot of games you just killing everybody.
Yeah.
But these ones.
Well, just for the first kill in Tomb Raider. And then afterwards, you're just mowing down people like crazy. This one, every single kill, Amelie's just like, I didn't mean to. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh my god. And she just kind of like freaks out a little bit because she's still a kid.
I like.
She's a child, and she's just freaking out because she just murdered someone. I'm in chapter 5. There's 11 chapters in it, so I would say I'm close to about the halfway point.
How long would you guesstimate each chapter runs?
Well, I looked on how long to beat. It's about a 10.5-hour game.
Okay. That was actually one of the. This one and Hellblade are the two games I was really considering as being the first two in the crazy long production ones to do. And I'm glad you played it. That's awesome.
It's fantastic. I could see why people were raving about it up and down last year.
So it's only a 10-hour game, right?
Right around, yeah. I would assume that's doing minor exploration.
So, just out of curiosity, since it's a super like well-produced movie, like not movie, but like game.
You know
right?
what? I was
super
just
good looking and all that stuff.
Cinematic experience. You know?
So this is kind of staying on the same topic, but like also derailing a little bit. Why do you think that The Order got such a bad rap when it doesn't sound too much different in length? Like The Order was about an 8 to 10 hour game.
No, it was like 4 hours. That was a stupid short game. But I loved it all the same.
If you want like a super dumb cinematic game, check out The Order.
Yeah, if you want basically a straight up movie, The Order 1886. Yeah, no, it was like a 4-hour game, and that's I think speed runs of it are like 30 minutes.
Okay. I could have sworn it was longer, but I think that's with like the expansion.
Main reason. And also, yeah, that's like I think the main reason for people shitting all over it, but I love The Order.
The thing I've noticed about these cinematic games, these linear path games, is it seems like because another one I was looking at in consider actually the Blair Witch Project.
I hear it's not that great.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And it's a little glitchy, like you get stuck in the trees and shit. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I find appealing about these I think you guys can probably think of a couple other ones, but these linear games is they do put so much emphasis in the landscape and in the sound, and they really do try to make it a really hardcore cinematic experience versus games like The Forest or Ark or
where that's making your own story essentially.
Yeah, right. But they usually don't put as much production value into the landscape and stuff.
That's the thing with The Order is like my biggest thing is this is what I tell everyone when I tell people about the game is dude, I'm telling you, the seamlessness of this game. I feel like the reason The Order was so short is because they put all their money into production that they couldn't do very much more. The fact is like there's a scene where your team is going out onto the Zeppelin and you're roping down, and the cutscene was so perfect into the game. I was waiting for him to move after I got onto the outside of the Zeppelin. Yeah. Because you could not tell the cutscene had ended. It went directly into the game, which is
all that is
to me
in
insane.
Real is in engine. All that stuff is that none of it's pre-rendered.
It's absolutely wild. Like it was just so seamless. It's one of the most seamless games I've ever played. I can't think of too many others.
Yeah, Plague's Tale, I would highly, 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 highly recommend every single one of you play this game.
How much is it?
It's included with Game Pass.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll give it a shot.
Fantastic. It's all stealth, it's mainly stealth, by the way. So
is it as hard stealth as The Thief?
No, it's
okay. Good, because I fucking hate that game.
Easier than that. It's a dumbed down stealth game. I'm gonna be 100% real here. It's like
I can't do another Alien Isolation.
Yeah. It's
so kind of like Dishonored stuff.
Kinda, yeah. Hey, there's a dude here. Oh, how do I distract him? Let me throw a rock at this glowing pile of helmets that you can't miss. So it's like, yeah, you're not gonna have much trouble with this game.
Okay.
But the story's really great. The characters are fantastic. It's an absolute beautiful game. Music is utterly forgettable, but it's fine. But
it doesn't have a good soundtrack?
it's the same shit in every cinematic game.
Okay.
The same
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
mediocre, string section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your typical, like, operatic, scary music kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's very moody. It's very moody, but...
Right.
Yeah. Last thing real quick that I did, I just want to give a shout out to this one creator that I started watching called Jim Can't Swim. He does a lot of videos on police interviews and the psychology behind the interviews themselves. Absolutely very, very interesting watch on YouTube if you're ever bored. He has some great videos on a bunch of big name cases where he goes over the stuff on there, and definitely recommend it. I subscribe to his Patreon. It's only $1, and I get a lot more videos. So that was my week. That was my extremely long week.
I'll go.
Yeah, that leaves.
That just leaves Walker.
Myself. World's longest week segment in our podcast history, but it's been
Yeah.
been an hour.
It has
and 30
been a
minutes.
hefty one.
Do
we have a lot of news?
Not a huge amount.
It'll probably the podcast as in whole will probably be 3 hours. So, well, that hasn't been normal, but not unnormal. But it's been good content though, so it's been very fluent, very communicative, and I love it. For myself, Worms, like James said, that's been fun. I watched a couple different movies. Watched The Matrix. That movie still holds up like a fucking boss.
Oh yeah, the first one does.
Like
The
no
first one's
tomorrow.
great. The only Matrix movie's great.
I like them all. Number one by far my favorite. I wouldn't say I like them all, but like I'll still watch them all. But I only watch number one. But even still today, the CGI in that movie still rivals CGI that's today. Like it's weird. The movies went from good, okay, and shit. You would think like the number 3 would have the best CGI, but I felt like that had the worst.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't watch it like way back, but like, it's definitely phenomenal. Like, it's a great looking movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd say it like holds up to some of the shit that's around today, because like a lot of it definitely looks like 2000s CGI.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, and then, but just thinking about like when it was made and everything like that, and then just knowing for the time the evolutionary break my lamp,
Throw your lamp across the room there, guy.
the fucking slow down, camera rotating, like never been done before. Like that was, it's just crazy to think like something like that was never done up until that time.
Yeah.
But that technology has then been used in advance since. So watch that. I watched a couple random movies.
It was nice to see a movie that captivated how I really see the world.
Exactly.
In bullet time.
Slow motion.
Just put your hands up and stop the bullets.
It takes forever to vape. I'm not there yet. Slow down.
I watched a movie called The First Day We Met. It's with Adam Devine from Workaholics. He's like the shorter, the fatter one.
Oh, that was the day he keeps waking up, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Kind of, but he uses a photo booth to kind of go back. See, the premise is he meets this girl at the beginning of the movie. Like, it's the most romantic thing ever. He wakes up. He's standing in front of the girl. She's talking about how it's the greatest day of her life. About how on this day 4 years ago we met. I fell in love, and then she turns to another dude. And then it goes back in time to see what happened. He goes in for a kiss, and then she hugs him and says, I love having a guy friend like you.
Ouch.
And then from there, he finds out that this photo booth is basically like a time machine. So he goes in and he plays different parts, and then he wakes up after that night happened, and that's the future, and he has to keep doing it over until he finally gets it right.
So yeah,
But
Groundhog Day.
yeah, pretty much. But the girl that he thinks he's supposed to be in love with is not actually the girl he's supposed to be in love with. It's I don't know. It's a rom-com, but I don't know. I like
It's a
Adam.
solid movie.
Yeah. I like Adam
Devine.
Devine. I thought he was funny. He was in one movie with Zac Efron. What the fuck was it?
It's you're thinking of
They're brothers.
Mike and something need wedding dates.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that was funny. Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Mike and Dave, yeah.
That was hilarious. So I was like, oh, I saw it on Netflix. Why not? I'll watch. It's only an hour and 30 minutes, so it wasn't too long. But it was a solid comedy, and that's pretty much the extent of my week. Played Ark, was set out on an adventure.
What did you get killed this time?
Actually, I didn't get killed. So I set out on an adventure. I had marked on the map where all these different animals were going to be. I crafted all the materials, maxed out as many weapons as I can, had multiple different sets of armors. I'm sitting there fucking taming a brontosaurus, which is the huge leaf eaters. And I run off to the side to go get a raptor, which is a tech raptor. Fucking cool looking. The game like flickers. I go back to where my animal is that I flew in on, which was a griffin, super high level. The motherfucker's gone.
Ooh.
I search up, down, left, right, underground, in the sky, far, front, back, left side, fucking circles. He's nowhere to be found. All my equipment, all my cryopods, everything that I got to that point to do this adventure, woof, disappeared. Nowhere to be found. Nothing.
Have you located these items since?
No. Like I haven't played since because I got so mad
Do you
because I
think
lost
that
all of that stuff.
a lot of the stuff's are from mods, correct?
No.
Well, the griffin's not, but not all of it. No, I crafted all the stuff.
I don't have any.
Yeah, none of the animals are.
The only things I have in the way of mods are the ones that are
building.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. No, I crafted all the stuff. It was a bunch of narcotic arrows, trank guns, trank darts, so stuff. All the stuff that I made. But yeah, my griffin disappeared with like 800 pounds worth of shit.
I guess not necessarily mods per se, but like, do you think there could have, like, this is just speculating, but do you think there could have been not even like an update, but like a flash into the game where technically, since not all of us have the whole game, we only have like the base game and we don't have like Scorched Earth and all that stuff. Then there could have been like a possibility that like for some reason it had glitched and everything that we didn't actually have ended up going back to where it belongs, and like it just went all the way back into like its not pieces, but like it's just gone, like just completely sucked out.
No,
because aren't those servers live?
Yeah, but not likely.
Is that a theoretical possibility?
No, because our servers, the thing about hosting them is they're isolated. So you're not actually in the Steam server farm. You're in the way the game looks at it, you're in your own farm. So on a public server, perhaps but on our server, that I can't think of anything that would really cause that.
And my griffin was set to passive too. That's the fucking crazy thing.
Just so you're aware, there is a thing, I don't know if you know this, called a transponder.
Yeah, that's what Mark was telling me.
Yeah, man. Put those on and it's basically a tracking device for your animals.
Yeah, I searched. I went...
That's titties, bro.
There's no way it would have been killed because you would have gotten the big fucking letters on your screen.
Notification or something.
I went to the notifications to check. Wasn't killed, wasn't nothing. I went as high up as I could. Wasn't in the sky.
Under
the ground.
Flashed out of the game or something. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What's crazy too, is it will eventually show up, just like that damn kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything
I've
shows
seen
up
that.
once in a while.
Yeah.
I found that in the fucking desert.
That's nuts. I lost that thing out there months ago.
I found that in the
insane.
desert. I don't remember. I have to figure out if I can remember where I found it, but I found it though.
Weren't you
Yeah.
in the winning area though? Like, isn't
That
that
was
where
a
you
different
lost your
one.
griffin? Was in the
Oh,
where'd you lose your griffin?
Right. So in between the volcano and the beaver dam. So there's a
Okay.
grass area with
I landed that area
Yep.
now.
like geysers and hot geysers and stuff, a little grass
Yep.
patch. It was right there.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, like there's grass and then the grass goes into like soot almost because from the volcano. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was right there. Just fuck it. I go back, I'm like, I'm put this I'm gonna grab a cryopod, put my tech raptor that just caught in.
Feeling all good.
Knock up, let this dude go.
Yeah.
Start circling around, then I go farther, and then I go farther, and then I go farther. I go past the volcano, I go past the beaver dam, I go up, down, and I'm like, is this a joke? Like, where the fuck did this griffin
Am I being
go?
punked? Ashton, where are you?
He was set to follow one of your dinos back all the way at your base.
I'm just like,
Jesus.
what is this? Like, I was like, yeah, nothing. Could not find it for the life of me. I even ghosted in through the ground. I'm like, well, maybe he got sucked into the ground. Nope.
Yeah.
And no
What?
idea. Yeah, it was because the weight's like 1,000 pounds, and I put 800 pounds of
Was
stuff
he
on
even
that.
able to move?
He was. I could still fly. It probably wasn't that much. It was like 600,
But it was just enough.
but it was just enough so I could fly at a good speed. But it was a lot of stuff. It was a couple hundred arrows, darts, narcotic, um, just so I can go around because I found a Quetzal that was high level. I found the Brontosaurus. I found I found like a couple different dinosaurs that I was going to go do and catch, and then I was going to take that and expand on my base. And I was like, I'm gonna make this little adventure, and then I fucking catch the Brontosaurus, and my griffin's gone. I just sat there, I'm
How
like,
the fuck am I gonna get home now?
sighed and shut the game off.
Yeah, that's for legit reason.
I'm like, that was a level. It was like a 260 griffin, because that's all I kept. That's all I was riding. It was the highest griffin I've ever had. Was that? I just need to fucking stop getting griffins. I either kill them by accident because I try to fight it with a Gigasaurus so it gets eaten, or I fucking lose it.
Jesus.
It's like me and griffins don't match up. But that was so I haven't played the game since, and that was sometime mid last week. So yeah, I was just like, I can't. I was so upset. I'm just like I put so much time and effort to get all these materials, all this stuff to craft. I had a plan, and this is what fucking happens. I was making a little adventure out of it, and then poof, gone.
Yeah, that's lame, man.
Yeah.
Well,
So
there's something has been going on. Too, like I haven't been in the game, but I have been keeping an eye on the server, like trying to, I actually haven't done it in a couple days, but I did do it a couple days ago. I updated the servers, but it said that somebody has been in there for like 3 days. That was the other reason I hadn't done it for a couple days was every time I would check, it would say there was 1 out of 30 people on the server. And I'm like, what the? And then I asked you guys, and none of you guys were on it. So I don't know if it was messing up or if there's just somebody somewhere out there just chilling. Finally, I was just like, I gotta update this thing, like. So I just did it, and
yeah. Well, that's weird. I wonder what it was. Yeah, I could not find him for the life of me. I was like, fucking A. So I haven't been on since. Maybe I'll hop on after this to see if I can find him. But well, that's pretty much it for my week per se. Let's get into some news, boys. Finally,
Yeah.
Power through some movie news. 'Cause I do have a little bit. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are being written. Why?
Nice.
I have no idea. I have never actually seen any of the Mission Impossible movies.
Me neither.
But they are making a Mission Impossible 7 and a Mission Impossible 8.
See, I'm not a big Tom Cruise guy, so I've never really watched those movies.
So our everlasting movie that has gotten postponed, rescheduled, canceled, reworked, redone with our boy Tom Holland, called Uncharted. Has a new release date.
Never.
It is July 16th, 2021. Almost a year from, like 2 months from now, 3 months from now, we're finally getting our Uncharted movie. 10 years in the making. We'll see if it gets pushed back.
It will.
I guarantee it will. They also announced that they are making Into the Spideyverse 2.
Nice.
And that sequel is pronounced on October 7th, 2022. And the new Spider-Man will also be released in July of 2021. Barring that nothing goes wrong, we shall see. Venom 2 has its name. It is called Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
I like that title.
That is the title of Venom 2, because obviously Carnage is one of the main characters. Tom Hardy. Not Tom Hardy. Is it Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Plays Venom.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Made a joke in an interview that Spider-Man, and obviously he could just be straight trolling, but essentially he hinted at that Spider-Man, Tom Holland, will make a guest appearance
I hope fucking not.
in this movie, based off of the agreement that Sony and Marvel have, that he may be in this movie in some sort of cameo role.
I don't even want the Venomverse connected to Spider-Man right now at all.
So we'll see. I think once this contract ends, he'll strictly go to the Venomverse, but at least so that way people who are watching it kind of get like a little...
That's not even my problem. It's like Eddie Brock, even Cletus, they're both too fucking old.
Yeah.
Like, the characters themselves are supposed to be in their 20s, and Cletus is, like, at max 33.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't work. The continuity is completely fucked. It does not work.
You just don't
God, I
want.
wish
You
I
don't
had a
want
little Venom.
those trash
be all
Spider-Man
stronger
movies to
and
be
stuff.
with the good Venom movies.
No, I don't want a buddy cop movie and then fucking Cletus Cassidy with Chucky doll hair in the same movie with what I imagine to be 17-year-old, well, at the time, probably an 18-year-old Peter Parker.
yeah.
I want
The
40
timeline there
40
doesn't
and
really make
50-year-olds.
sense.
Fucking Woody Harrelson's goddamn like 58.
Yeah.
Like, it
Little
doesn't
Carnage.
work.
Who
That's
is he
30
playing?
years.
He's
He
playing
plays
Carnage.
Cletus Cassidy, which is Carnage.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Spider-Man? Like, the actual, like, symbiote
Yeah.
villains? It seems like you are, because you seem stressed out.
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson's playing Carnage.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with Carnage, Woody Harrelson is playing a
I love him
complete-
as an actor.
Yes. He's playing a complete 100% psychopath, sociopath, murderous, no holds barred, complete and utter batshit crazy person who also, I mind you, is about as skinny as a fucking twig. Cletus Cassidy's a very slim, very
Yeah.
thin dude.
But
And he
that's
also has, it doesn't work.
does
We'll
it?
see.
Fucking
We'll see.
Eddie
Who
Brock's
knows?
supposed to be just a jock.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a jock
yeah,
who
Eddie's a
ends
jock.
up becoming a disgraced photographer because he falsified some photos, and then he got kicked out, and then he just like realistically, and everyone hates this movie. Everyone dislikes it. I didn't hate it. I didn't mind Spider-Man 3. I thought the
I like
Venom
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3.
3 was fine. I don't think Topher Grace was a great choice for that because let's be honest, Topher Grace is always Eric Foreman, and he never will be anything else. Like if you've seen like Valentine's Day or whatever it is, he always plays the goofy, quirky, awkward kid.
I feel that way about the what was the main, well, they're all main characters fucking from The Office.
Jim?
Yeah, Jim playing any other role but Jim. Like he play, you know what I'm talking about, that movie show or whatever it was he's in. I saw the preview for that and I was like,
So what I will say, what changed my mind is
Anytime I
watch
see it, I'm
13
like,
hours
all I see
and
is
you'll
that.
change your mind. He plays a serious role so incredibly
does.
well. After I watched
He
13
did do a
hours,
good job in that show.
The Tom Clancy show.
Hmm?
It's really solid. I watched the first like 5-6 episodes. I mean, I mind you, I'm like 2 seasons behind now, 2 or 3. But like the first 3 episodes I saw were solid. They were really good.
A Quiet
Because
Place
I
is
watched 13
phenomenal
hours
as well.
though. I don't know if like he could be the greatest actor of all time in that movie. I just don't feel like I want to see him in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Is there
There's
any
talks of him playing Mr. Fantastic, and I'm very excited for that.
Is there any previews of Woody playing this character yet?
Have you watched the end? Well, technically not in Carnage form, but have you watched the end credit scene of Venom?
No, I haven't even seen Venom.
Look up
I'm
the
so
end.
behind.
So if you're not really caring about all that shit, just look up the end credit scene. Just look up Cletus Cassidy, or no, look up Woody
God,
Harrelson Venom.
Fucking Carrot Top.
That